It is the Michigan Football Report with me, your host, James Yoder. I want to ask you guys to subscribe to the channel. It's youtube.com/Michigan TV. We hit 13,000 subscribers last week. Want to keep growing into the 2021 season, but it's spring football time, so we're going to talk about rumors around the quarterback situation, the coronavirus vaccine, and more coming up in the show. But Michigan made some scheduling announcements on Wednesday afternoon, and I want to take a look at what they announced. The Michigan football 2025 out-of-conference schedule is now finalized, and the Wolverines added New Mexico as their 25 season opener and Central Michigan in their third game of the season. And with what's been normal in the Jim Harbaugh era, Wolverines have a couple of easy games, if you will. No disrespect to Central Michigan, no disrespect to New Mexico, but two easier games that they better win, right? Which will be surrounded by a much more difficult game in between that one. So, Wolverines opening the season up with New Mexico. Then they'll have Oklahoma in the second one, and then Central Michigan as the third one. So, it's very interesting to see what they're doing with the out-of-conference schedule. They're going to get harder towards the middle back part of the decade. You've got Washington at home this season coming up for 2021. 2022, I'll talk about those here in a second, but let's take a look at that 2025 schedule. You start off with New Mexico August 30th at the Big House. Travel out to Norman, Oklahoma on September 6th, and then you've got Central Michigan on September 13th to round out that schedule. After that, in that 2025 season, Michigan does have a trip to Maryland on September 20th, and then September 27th also at Nebraska before a bye on October 4th. So what is Michigan trying to accomplish? What are they doing with their out-of-conference schedule? They're not scheduling multiple difficult games in the same season like they have in several years in the past. And that's a good thing in my opinion. There's no need, with as difficult as the Big Ten schedule has been with Michigan State, Penn State, Ohio State every single year, I don't think Michigan needs to, and not to mention Wisconsin, Nebraska, other teams, I don't think they need to force difficult games out of conference. One is okay. That's enough. You'll have Washington in the 2021 season, but 2022, Colorado State, Hawaii, Connecticut. 23, East Carolina, UNLV, Bowling Green. 24, you've got Fresno State. Then a trip to Texas, and that's an interesting one. You got that trip to Oklahoma in 2025. You got Oklahoma at home in 2026, and then out to Texas at home against Texas in 2027. And that's all we know about the out-of-conference until the 2033 and 34 home, and then away against Notre Dame, renewing that rivalry that ended in the 2019 season. So the thing about the biggest games coming up, you've got one in 2021 against Washington, and then it's a few years of easy schedules until at Texas, at Oklahoma, home against Oklahoma, and then at Texas, a little Oklahoma, Texas sandwich in the out-of-conference in the 24 through 2027 seasons is what we know about the Michigan football out-of-conference schedule. All right, I've got all those spring practice news and rumors coming up for you in the Michigan Football Report right now. All right, enough of the news around the schedule. We want to dive into the rumors on this Michigan football team. What we know headed into this season, headed into finishing out this spring practice. It seems like it's been going on forever. I feel like they started in February, which they did. But let's take a look at the first rumor on the board. Are the QBs struggling for Jim Harbaugh's Wolverines? I'm giving this one 2 Harbaugh heads. And what do I mean by the 2 Harbaugh heads? I'll talk about that here in a second. But it means people are talking. It means it's strictly in the rumor category. I haven't got this exact piece of information, but here is what we know. All right. Cade McNamara, JJ McCarthy, the only 2 scholarship quarterbacks. I know Dan Villari, he may be on scholarship, but he wasn't an actual recruitable scholarship quarterback in my opinion. But hearing this, JJ McCarthy struggling, Cade McNamara, still should be in high school. Cade McNamara going into his 3rd season in the program, started a game or 2 last year, looked good against Rutgers, struggled in his other game. 60% completion last year, 61%, 425 yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. So he looked good, okay? He looked good in that Rutgers comeback win, but I don't know necessarily if he is going to be the answer for this team from what we've heard in spring practice, and given that he only looked good for about a half or so of football in 2020 season after taking over for Joe Milton. But the answer might be coming in the month of June when Texas Tech transfer Alan Bowman is on campus. He's about 2 months out, has to finish this semester at Texas Tech, and then once Michigan's summer schedule begins and the non-early enrollee freshmen are on campus, then Bowman can can enroll and begin the off-season activities with this team. Now, JJ McCarthy, he's the truth. He's the hope. He's the one that everyone is pinning the future of Jim Harbaugh's career with the University of Michigan on. I don't know, from what I've heard, if he's going to be the guy at all. I think if Alan Bowman is the player that we saw on the field at Texas Tech, started as a true freshman, kind of one gap year between him and Patrick Mahomes, he came in and started as a true freshman. From what we're hearing from McNamara, outplaying, even though McNamara is not playing that well, he's outplaying JJ McCarthy by a wide margin, taking all the first team snaps. I think JJ McCarthy being a first-year true freshman starter at this point, I don't think it is very likely to happen, but I want to know from you guys. Go ahead and comment below. Who do you think will start for Michigan? Let's just say in the season opener against Western Michigan, who will be their opening game starter? Go down in the comments, type J if it's JJ McCarthy, type C if it's Cade McNamara, type A if it's Alan Bowman. I don't think it's going to be JJ McCarthy, so I'm not typing in J. I'm going to type my C for now. But I want to know, just like I'm sure all you guys want to know, what we're going to get from Alan Bowman. So once he is on campus in June, starts throwing the ball around, starts slanging, some things kind of seep out there, then I'll make my decision. But go down below, type J, C, or A on who will be Michigan's starting quarterback in 2021. Take a look at this rumor meter if you haven't watched the show before, or we haven't done a rumors roundup in a little bit, so you might not be that familiar with it, but if I give something 0 Harbaugh heads, that it means that it's totally false. Fake news! That means Sam Webb probably put it out. 1 Harbaugh head means a small shred of truth. 2 Harbaugh heads means people are talking like that rumor I just had, strictly in the rumor category. 3 means it's pretty likely. If we give it the 4 Harbaugh heads, that's F-A-C-K, fact. That means it's happening. It's going down. We either got a source on it, or of course, like some of these rumors we'll talk about here in a second, that means it is in the news. You may have seen our content on the Newsbreak app. If you haven't, you might be wondering, why does it say Newsbreak below? We are at a new platform. We partner with the Newsbreak app. It is awesome. If you're in the city of Detroit, Ann Arbor, or any zip code, it curates local news and weather from all your favorite sources. Politics, want to know what's going on with the shutdowns in your state or any of the elections that are coming up at the end of the year, whatever, and sports content, not just from us here at the Michigan Football Report, but all kinds of sources from big down to small. It curates a great news experience for you based on your zip code. Go ahead and download it and follow us, Michigan Football Report. All of our videos are on there. Go use that URL so we get credit for it, so we keep bringing you these shows. It's chatsports.com/MichiganNB. Type that into your browser, press enter. It should redirect you right into the Google or Apple App Store. Download Newsbreak and search Michigan Football Report to get more Michigan football videos from me. Next up, the football team. Have they been vaccinated? Is coronavirus over? No more COVID-19 in Ann Arbor? I'm giving that one 4 Harbaugh heads, and if you just saw there, that means F-A-C-K, fact. It happened. It's going down. Go ahead and bring me full screen. We'll talk about this a little bit more. All right, Josh Gattis, Michigan's upcoming third-year offensive coordinator, tweeted out on Tuesday night that the Wolverines have gotten the coronavirus vaccine. And frankly, as far as I'm concerned, they shouldn't be wearing masks on campus. If they're all vaccinated, what the heck the vaccine for? But let's take a look at what Gattis had to say. It's some small text. I'm getting older. He's just basically saying here, he's thankful that the University of Michigan athletic program provided a COVID-19 vaccine yesterday. So this came out Tuesday night. Yesterday was Monday. From his perspective, every shot counts. He's hoping that you, the fans, and me watching the show, or whoever's watching this, seeing his tweet, hopes that you get your vaccine so you could come on and be at a game on campus. They're hoping for a full house there at Michigan Stadium from Josh Gattis, which leads me to this story. Michigan got the vaccine. The whole team is vaccinated, it would seem, unless somebody didn't want to get it. I don't know how they would have that. But season ticket renewals went out last week. And the deadline's coming up here later this month for your payments. But I want to kind of just think about what Michigan is asking. If they're going to expect 115,000, 110,000, 15,000 on campus coming off a 2-4 season, everybody gets vaccinated, and they're putting into place what I would expect. The season starts in, just a little under 5 months from now, that they would have full attendance. We saw a baseball game in the state of Texas have full attendance earlier this week, so why would Michigan not be able to have full attendance in a week? I'm guessing that Michigan if they have full attendance, will struggle to fill the big house this season. Some people will still be concerned about getting COVID-19. That's fine if that's the case for them. But 2-4 season, year 6 in Harbaugh, a lot of people kind of distraught and frustrated with where the program is, myself included. I'm a season ticket holder. The Yoder families have been season ticket holder for a long time. I want to know from you guys, will you renew your season tickets for the 2021 season? Now, only answer this if you have had season tickets in the past. If you were a 2019 or prior season ticket holder, we all know there wasn't any season tickets in the 2020 season. So go down in the comments below. Type Y if yes, type N if no. If it's a maybe and you're not sure yet, let me know what factors are going into your decision, because I want to know, hey, I got to make a decision too. So let me know, will you renew your tickets for the 2021 season? Last rumor on the show, is there a spring game going down at the Big House this Saturday? That's a 4 Harbaugh heads, baby. It's F-A-C-K, fact. Michigan actually is holding a spring game, but it's not the spring game that you or I would expect with fans and all the hoopla on Big Ten Network and pregame and tailgate like we've had in the past. But Michigan is going to hold a spring game this Saturday. Michigan football spring game this Saturday will be a little different than the past. We expect it to be a JJ McCarthy versus Cade McNamara, full pads, one team versus the other team. The winner gets to go out for steak, the loser gets ramen noodles, but here is what we know. The spring game is this Saturday, held at Michigan Stadium. There will be no fans, but parents will be allowed to attend, so expect some things to sneak out in the media. It's expected to be a full tackle, no messing around with any of this two-hand touch or anything like that. Full pads and full speed. From what we know with Josh Gattis going into his 3rd year, I would expect, and from what we've heard, that the offense would be ahead of the defense. But the quarterback's struggling a little bit. Maybe that won't be the case. A lot of new things being put in with Don Brown no longer being a part of this program. A lot of things are going to change for the offense. A lot of things are going to change for the defense, but the offense should be ahead of the defense. So we should know some things on Saturday. There should be some things that creep out on social media, some highlights. I'm sure Michigan themselves will put out some highlights of what happens in this game. But I am most interested, and I am most maybe concerned about, if we don't get the right answers, of how the quarterbacks will fare. JJ McCarthy, Josh Gattis, they've known each other for several years. McCarthy should have had a playbook in his hands for several years for Michigan. Cade McNamara going to year 3. Dan Villari, we'll see what we get out of him. But with Alan Bowman coming in June, if one of those two quarterbacks doesn't look the part, doesn't look like he has the playbook down after 3 years on campus for McNamara and knowing the offense, seemingly, for JJ McCarthy, I'll be very concerned if this offense isn't well ahead of the defense. Make sure you guys do download the Newsbreak app. Might start putting exclusive videos here from Chat Sports' Michigan Football Report on the Newsbreak app, but they're helping us put out the show. They're a sponsor. We're presenting our contents on there, so go download it. You won't regret it. You have a great new news source. chatsports.com/MichiganNB. Make sure you use that link to download. Give us the credit, and then search for the Michigan Football Report.